Hello, my name is William Kumwembe and this is Business Time on Times. It is a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines. And in the program today, we look at the possible impact of the coronavirus on the local economy. Also in the program, UGI predicts a decline in profits for the year ended December 2019. We have these and other stories. Stay tuned if you could. Hello and welcome. In our main story in the program today, the coronavirus has emerged to be not only a health crisis, but also a major threat to global economies. Trading between nations has drastically dropped with countries on lockdown. But what does this mean for Malawi, which at the moment has not registered any case of the virus? Chimwemwe Mangazi attempts to answer that question in this report.
Economic experts have described Malawi's 2020 economic growth prospect of 5.1% as a big wish in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. The commentators say under the current circumstances, economic output is likely to be lower than initial projections. Economist Senzuka says Malawi, like most African economies, is not spared from possible effects of the pandemic, as it has already affected trade between the country and its partners. He says Malawi trades with China, European Union countries, the United Kingdom, and the United States, which are under lockdown, which has seen a closure of businesses, and their demand for goods from Africa has drastically gone down. He further said the disease has already affected Malawi's growing tourism industry, which contributes around 8% to GDP. Concurring with Zuka, Economics Association of Malawi Executive Director Keti Nyasulu said containment measures may reduce economic activity in most sectors, especially the service sector, and this may exacerbate the already uncertain business conditions. She says the pandemic is particularly a significant challenge to Malawi because of its weaker health systems and response capacity. However, spokesperson in the Ministry of Finance, Economic Planning and Development, Davis Sado, says the government is still observing the situation and will be computing proper projections. He says the government will come up with proper projections to establish how much impact the current situation will have on the economy, but initially the projections were that the economy will perform well during the second half of the financial year. In the 2019-2020 National Budget Statement, Minister of Finance Joseph Mwanamveka said economic outlook for 2019 was positive as the economy was estimated to grow by 5% and by 7% in 2020, giving a fiscalized growth rate of 6% for the 2019-2020 fiscal year.
And the threat of the virus has not spared the Malawi Stock Exchange. We engage Chief Executive Officer of the Stockbrokers Malawi Limited, Noah Kadzakumanja, and he begins by analyzing performance of the local stock market in 2019 compared to regional counterparts.
2019 was not a very good year for the Malawi Stock Exchange. The FSTE JSE or Africa share index by end of 2019 had gained by about 8%, while Malawi Stock Exchange or share index had gained by about 3.4%. So the Africa All Share Index outperformed our local All Share Index. It's not just about comparing the performance of the Malawi Stock Exchange to other exchanges, but also we can compare the performance of the stock exchange to to its other performances in the other years. In 2017, the Malawi Stock Exchange had gained by about 64%, which was huge. And I should say here that a gain of 64%, the Malawi All Share Index had outperformed any other index in the world. It was the best performer. In 2018, the Malawi All Share Index gained by about 34%. That is also a huge gain. It's a big gain. So, though we did not, the market did not match its 2017 performance in 2018, but 34% was also a huge gain. Unfortunately, come 2019, the All Share Index has only gained by 3.4%. It's small when we compare to the previous performance of the stock exchange, but it's still a 3.4 gain is still good, especially in the light of our circumstances in 2019, and where I say that the All Share Index by 2019 had only gained by 8%. So 8%, and we've done 3.4% with all what we've gone through in 2019. We have still done better. Where we've not performed well, we should not talk much about the drivers, but possibly the question we should be answering is why did we perform so badly? We suspect that it's because of the political situation in the country in 2019. Following the elections, we saw opposition protesting against the results, going to court, people going into the streets, and then we saw businesses slowing down. It's not just the Malawi Stock Exchange, but many businesses slowed down, and it doesn't come as a surprise to see the Malawi Stock Exchange performing that way. 2020, I don't think it will be of much difference to 2019. If anything, with also the coming of coronavirus, it might be even worse.
Still on COVID-19 related stories, Limbe Leaf Sacco has predicted tough times ahead as the COVID-19 spread continues threatening countries and economies. This came out during the Sacco's annual general meeting recently in Lilongwe. Taonga Sabola was there and now reports.
Speaking in an interview on Saturday, Limbe Leaf Sacco President Jonas Chiweza said the year 2019 has been a mixed bag as the Sacco managed to register success and challenges during the year. He said the Sacco expects the year 2020 to be tough, especially with the coronavirus as well as an anticipated short season.
In 2019, I can say it's a mixed bag. We have done it well in some areas, but there were challenges as well in other areas. Like in 2019, our company, Limbe Leaf, relocated the office from Limbe to Lilongwe. That resulted in some members withdrawing from our Sacco. We have managed to increase our assets by 10%, and also the loans that we dispense increased by 35% in the year. We also managed to maintain the profit for the year as compared to last year. We see that it's a challenging year, but we have devised products that we feel that they should counter the challenges that we meet. Some of the challenges relate to expected low tobacco. It means it will be a short season. which means we will also disperse less loans.
Limberleaf Sacco manager Christabel Mbeya said the Sacco is putting in place a number of initiatives to boost its membership.
As for the membership, we have introduced so many products. Since most of our members, they come when the season opens, that is when the tobacco seasons. It is in May, April, and we introduce so many products for our low-end members, because Limberleaf Sacco is comprised of low-end and high-end members. So we divide the products because some of them offer bicycles so that our low-end income members can benefit, and also provide loans like screens so that our high-end members can benefit for that. And we have incoming, we're introducing many of them mattresses loans for our low income, mattresses, school fees, and we want to introduce motorbike. This one will be the first one. We also offer loans on behalf of Limberleaf to all Limberleaf staffs.
Malawi Union of Savings and Credit Cooperatives head of cooperative development Leroy Banda said MUSCO is fully aware of the dangers that may come with the coronavirus.
Coronavirus is a concern worldwide, and even the SACCOs, it may affect us. But I am glad that there are measures that SACCOs have taken in terms of how we need to take care of ourselves as SACCO members. In most offices, they have put measures like where people, when they are entering the banking halls, the SACCO, to access services, they should wash hands with sanitary liquid and stuff like that. And eventually I think we'll see that sooner or later, when this is over, we should be in a better position. But just like any other pandemic, when it comes, we are affected. You can see here, even in the participation in the number of people that have attended this particular AGM, a few, we had communicated to them that it should be by representation. It would have been full packed, the whole hall. But we said, no, it shouldn't be more than 100 people, because we would also want to protect SACCO members, knowing so well that a SACCO is as strong as its membership. And if the members are healthy, then we are going to have strong SACCOs.
In 2019, Limberleaf Sacco registered a profit of 102 million kwacha, up from 101 million kwacha in 2018.
Remember, this is Business Time on Times. It is a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news making headlines in the country and beyond. We'll be right back. Welcome back. United General Insurance, UGI, predicts a decline in its profits as the firm is taking stock of business in 2019. Our reporter Justin Mkweo caught up with the company's Chief Executive Officer, Bayo Tuoni, and now explains.
I think for us as UGI, it was a challenging year because what we have seen is that in terms of the growth, we haven't grown much. I think we've grown below the inflation. Then also we've looked at the claims. There have been a lot of claims. We saw our claims growing by around 27% or so. So there was a mixed bag. And in the end, at the bottom line, in terms of profitability, we found ourselves that our profits have gone down from 452 million, that is after tax, to around 212 million. There are several things that have actually contributed to this performance. One of the things is that as UGI, we took a bold step, I think 3 years ago, where we said that going forward, we would like to actually clean our book. We want to ensure that we do what we call proper underwriting. So we don't just accept business, any business that comes on our table. What we do is actually we look at the business, we assess it properly, and then we actually take it on board, or we actually refuse to take that business. We've had situations where we have actually found ourselves in a position where we have reversed or cancelled policies worth billions of Malawi kwacha. So we decided that going forward we would rather be very selective. And we started this actually in 2017. That is when now we also started our campaign that has seen us also coming up with several products, starting from AutoSave, AutoShield, and then the one that we have just launched, AutoPrice. So we, in short, we believe that that's the issue at hand. Of course, we cannot rule out the fact that also the year has been challenging because of the political situation. Looking at the past election, things have not been stable. So we have seen that a lot of clients have been playing wait and see. As such, it has also contributed to this performance. We are in business, and our business is to serve the public. Now, you see, the problem is that if you just take any other business, you have got some clients that, one, they are not paying premiums, and then you have also have got some clients that are also actually, they are always claiming they are moral hazards. They believe that if I take an insurance policy, at all cost, I must make sure that I actually claim. So you find that the genuine clients, the clients that are faithful, that are paying premiums on time, when their time comes for them to claim, sometimes you find that as insurance companies, we struggle because of cash flow issues, because we have got the other business, which we call toxic accounts, that are actually within your book that you find to service the good clients. So at the same time also, we are also in business to make money for the shareholders. So we needed to find a win-win situation where we are able to service the client, the genuine clients, the clients that are loyal, the clients that are faithful, at the same time also at the end of the year to be able to give dividend to the owners of the company. In 2020, we've currently, we are now sitting at close of first quarter. What we have seen is that we continue to see the same trend in terms of the denominators of performance. You are very aware that the Concord made a decision on the election case. So it's like we are still in that moment again. So we do not anticipate much change as far as the business environment is concerned. Actually, with the elections looming, then we even are thinking that it could be even worse, because this time around most people now will actually have to lay back. However, as a company, for first quarter, we have seen that there have been some growth. We are expecting that we should be able to grow above inflation. And also we have seen, we are anticipating also, we are projecting a growth in profit of around 60% from last year's results.
Now, in other business news, Agriculture Development and Marketing Corporation, ADMAC, has trained its internal auditors in preparation of the maize purchase starting next week. They say the training will help iron out irregularities that marred the process in previous years. Steve Mulia compiled this report, written in our studios by Justin Mkweu.
ADMAC board member Imran Sharif said the parastatal is ready for this year's agricultural marketing season. He was speaking during a training workshop organized by the Institute of Internal Auditors, Malawi.
You see, in the past, we used to lose our market to the private sector. And the issue was that we shouldn't buy maize at the early stage of harvest because of the moisture content. But yet, the private sector used to buy the same maize, and then at the end of the day, the ADMAC now went to them as well to buy from them. So this time, ADMAC is well prepared and it has enough space, even if it buys maize today. So the issue of moisture content is no longer there now.
He then held the institute for the conference.
They should make use of what they have learned here, yes, and they should make all the controls available in order to also keep the face of ADMAC.
IIM Malawi board member Rebecca Mtekateka, who was also the facilitator at the workshop, said she expects the auditors to use the knowledge acquired.
We're drilling them on how to be an effective internal auditor, and the topics we're dwelling on was tools and techniques for internal auditing. So we're drilling them on that so that they can go back to ADMAC and be better placed auditors that management can rely on as trusted advisors. It was very important because what they have learned as they go back to do their work, management will even see the change that will be on how they'll be doing their work because of the new skills that they have learned, that they have to do the internal audit, not in the normal way, but as qualified internal auditors who are using the internal audit standards. The advice that I can have is they should emulate what ADMAC has done for them to see the effectiveness of having internal audit functions in their organizations. The expectation is that when they've gone back to ADMAC to continue working as internal auditors, their work will be different from what the management used to receive. They will receive new reports, new effective reports that will help them make better decisions for the operations of ADMAC.
Well, with that story, we've also come to the end of today's edition of the program Business Time on Times. It is a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news making headlines in the country. On behalf of the entire production team, my name is William Kumwembe. But always remember, if it doesn't make money, then it doesn't make sense. Goodbye for now.